Today is Thursday, March 2nd, 2023, and I'm going to be reading Isaiah chapter 32. This chapter, I don't have a lot to say about it. It, of course, is a nice chapter to read, very poetic, and there's a few really interesting things from it, but I don't know if I have any overall story of this chapter. It just seems kind of like a continuation of a thought, and like a thought that is going to keep continuing. So there's two things that I'll point out, though, that are pretty interesting to me. Okay, Isaiah chapter 32. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. So interesting here is the use of the word liberal, and it gets used more throughout this chapter, and it's not really in a good light. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. And this, I'm really interested in specifics. A lot of times in the Bible, I'm like, that would be awesome if there was more explanation. What instruments? What wicked devices? And of course, they didn't have the time and the space to write down everything. But it'd be interesting to know. My mind instantly goes to the payday, pay advance loan things, all of the stuff that gets pushed at poor people, how it's really hurting them because they charge ridiculous amounts of interest. So yeah, my mind instantly goes to seeing some celebrity on the TV shilling for payday loan. Or I think of the magazines that are like, oh, get this big screen TV for low introductory payments of $39.99. But you're paying for who knows how many years and paying for like 5 times the cost of the thing through interest. That's where my mind goes. But it'd be interesting to know what specifically was going on back then, too. I imagine similar things. Nothing new under the sun. But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. I kind of think here of the hypocrisy of the left and the pandering that they do, how a lot of times the people who pretend like they're caring about needy or people who are disadvantageous, I guess, a lot of times they're hypocrites, and they're actually a lot more racist than most people. A lot of people, just for instance, a lot of people will look at a black person and then look down on them and think like they need help just because that they're black. Well, that's actually really racist to think that somebody needs help just because they're black, for instance. Anyways, just one example. Here they talked about hypocrisy, though, and liberals. Okay, this is another interesting part. Maybe the last thing I'll talk about. It's very interesting here, a call to action to women, a very specific call to action for women. And so, rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Okay, so it seems like a call to action for the lukewarm women. And this is a theme that gets repeated throughout the Bible. Don't forget your first love. Try to keep that enthusiasm that you had when you first found Jesus. And obviously at this time, Jesus hadn't come yet, but the spirit of the sentiment is the same. Don't forget your first love. Don't become complacent. Be ready. Fill your oil lamps. however you want to think of it. Verse 13, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of the joy and the joyous city. Because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left, the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks. So often in the Bible, it's just blowing my mind how many times in the Bible they talk about big cities being abandoned. Because that's just such a key component of learning about fake history and history resets, is understanding that every time that there's a history reset, there's an enormous amount of buildings that are left around the earth that need to get explained away. Okay. Verse 15, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness quietness and assurance forever. And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. When it shall hail, coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass. Okay, so kind of a cliffhanger. Where's this going? And I will see you tomorrow for another video. God bless everyone.